The atmosphere on set was electric from the start, but not in the warm, playful way audiences were used to seeing when Gwen Stefani joined Kelly Clarkson on her talk show. The two music icons had been friends for years, sharing laughs, personal stories, and even playful jabs on air, but this episode took a sharp turn almost immediately. What began as a lighthearted conversation about Gwen's upcoming projects shifted into a tense exchange after Kelly made a remark about Gwen's career being defined by her relationship with Blake Shelton. Gwen's smile faltered, her usually calm tone sharpening as she pushed back, saying, "I've been in this business a lot longer than my marriage, Kelly." The crowd gave a few awkward chuckles, unsure whether they were watching friendly banter or the start of something more serious. Kelly tried to backpedal, but her follow-up comment only seemed to fan the flames, and the tension was thick enough that even the camera operators hesitated to cut away. Kelly, realizing the moment had already slipped past the point of casual banter, tried to steer the conversation toward safer ground, but Gwen's eyes told a different story. "It's just funny how people always want to attach my success to someone else," Gwen continued, her voice now tinged with frustration. The audience shifted uncomfortably, sensing the growing friction. Kelly, perhaps feeling the need to defend herself, replied, "I didn't mean it like that, Gwen. You know I respect your career, but the public sees the connection, and it's part of the narrative." That word, narrative, seemed to set Gwen off further. She leaned forward, hands clasped tightly, and said, "Well, maybe the public should focus on talent instead of gossip." A few people in the crowd clapped, while others looked stunned. The crew backstage exchanged quick glances, already bracing for the possibility that this segment would never make it to air without heavy editing. Kelly's smile grew tighter, the kind that looked friendly on camera but carried a sharper edge beneath. "Gwen, we're on live TV," she reminded, her tone a mix of warning and plea. But Gwen wasn't pulling back. If anything, she leaned into the tension. "Maybe people need to hear it live," she shot back, her voice resonating through the set. The audience gasped, clearly hooked by the drama unfolding before them. Kelly's posture stiffened as she tried to regain control of the interview, but Gwen's focus had shifted entirely. She wasn't looking at Kelly anymore. She was staring straight into the nearest camera, speaking directly to viewers at home. "Don't let anyone tell you your career exists because of someone else's shadow," she declared, her words slicing through the artificial warmth of the studio lights. The crew was now signaling frantically to cut to commercial, but Gwen wasn't done. Her body language screamed defiance, every movement sharper and more deliberate, as if daring anyone to stop her mid-sentence. The tension reached its breaking point when Kelly attempted to steer the conversation back to safer territory, but Gwen abruptly stood, her chair scraping loudly against the stage floor. The sound cut through the chatter like a warning bell, freezing both Kelly and the audience in place. "You know what? I'm not doing this," Gwen announced, her voice steady but her eyes flashing with something between hurt and determination. She brushed her hair over her shoulder, the movement almost theatrical, and turned toward the edge of the set. Kelly called after her, "Gwen, wait," but Gwen didn't slow down. The audience erupted into a chaotic mix of cheers and shocked murmurs, cameras scrambling to follow her exit. Backstage crew members parted instinctively, sensing this wasn't a moment to try to intercept. The bright, polished world of morning television had cracked for just a few seconds, and in that break, Gwen Stefani had made her point without another word. Backstage, the air was thick with tension as Gwen moved quickly down the corridor, her heels striking the floor in sharp, deliberate beats. A producer jogged after her, headset still in place, trying to de-escalate the situation, but Gwen raised a hand to silence him without breaking stride. "I need a minute," she said firmly, pushing through the door marked, "Private." Inside, she leaned against the wall, exhaling hard, the adrenaline still coursing through her. She could still hear the muffled sounds of Kelly trying to smooth things over with the live audience, her trademark charm working overtime. But Gwen knew this moment would go viral before the show even wrapped. Phone cameras had been out. Clips would be online within the hour, dissected and debated by millions. And while some would side with Kelly, others would see Gwen's walk-off as a bold refusal to be talked over. She didn't plan to return to the stage that day. Some bridges, once burned in the public eye, were better left in flames. By the time the taping officially wrapped, the production team was in quiet chaos, huddling to decide how much of the clash to edit out before the episode aired. In the control room, a few staffers replayed the footage in stunned silence, noting the exact second Gwen's expression shifted from playful banter to sharp defensiveness. Outside the studio, fans who had been in the live audience were already posting breathless accounts to social media. "OMG, Gwen just walked out on Kelly Clarkson mid-interview, fearful face fire," one tweet read, racking up thousands of likes in minutes. Entertainment bloggers caught wind almost instantly, spinning theories about long-simmering tensions between the two stars. Some claimed this was a PR stunt, others swore they saw genuine hurt in Gwen's eyes. Meanwhile, Kelly remained professional to the end, thanking the audience for coming and promising a lot more surprises this season. What she didn't say, and what only those in the studio knew, was that this moment had just rewritten the narrative for both her show and Gwen's public image. Within hours, the clip from the studio, shaky, shot from someone's phone, had gone viral, ricocheting across TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter with captions like, "Gwen vs. Kelly. Whose side are you on?" and, "When the shade gets too real, tornado." Morning talk shows dissected the walk-off in slow motion, pausing at the exact moment Gwen pushed back her chair. Body language experts were interviewed, pointing out everything from Kelly's raised eyebrow to Gwen's tightened jawline as proof of deeper drama. Music blogs speculated about whether this was connected to industry politics, maybe even a feud brewing over upcoming collaborations or the voice casting rumors. Publicists from both camps released carefully worded statements calling it a lighthearted misunderstanding, but the wording only fueled more conspiracy theories. By midday, #GwenWalksOff was trending worldwide, and a short, 10-second gif of Kelly's stunned reaction had been viewed over 30 million times. The irony: the episode hadn't even officially aired yet, and it was already the most talked about moment in the show's history. Gwen finally broke her silence that evening via an Instagram Live, her tone calm but edged with just enough steel to keep viewers hooked. Sitting in a softly lit room, a guitar propped behind her, she told her 15 million followers, "Look, sometimes people say things on live TV that hit you sideways. I'm human. I needed a second." She didn't name Kelly directly, but she didn't have to. Fans immediately flooded the comments with their own interpretations. Dissecting every pause, every glance to the side, Gwen went on to say she had nothing but respect for everyone in the industry, but also hinted that mutual respect has to be a two-way street. Within minutes, clips from the live were reposted on celebrity gossip channels, some editing dramatic music underneath, others splicing in the walk-off footage for maximum drama. By the end of the night, headlines shifted from "Gwen storms out" to "Gwen speaks out," and the story's tone began to change. Now it was less about a diva moment and more about a woman standing her ground in front of millions. The next morning, Kelly Clarkson addressed the incident head-on during her show's opening monologue, her smile warm but her words unmistakably firm. "Y'all know me. I love a good debate," she began, pacing lightly across the stage. "But sometimes, even I can cross a line without realizing it." The audience chuckled softly, unsure if she was about to apologize or double down. Kelly explained that the conversation with Gwen had taken a turn she hadn't anticipated, and admitted that she might have pushed too far. But then she added, "That's the beauty of friendship. You can walk off stage, cool down, and still have love for each other at the end of the day." The audience erupted in applause, but online, reactions were split. Some praised Kelly for owning up, while others accused her of giving a half-hearted apology. Gossip blogs ran with headlines like, "Kelly extends olive branch," or "backhanded compliment," ensuring the story's embers kept glowing. Just when it seemed like the buzz was finally dying down, Gwen posted a short Instagram story that blew the lid off all over again. It was just a boomerang clip, Gwen in her dressing room, sipping coffee, with the caption, "Some people say sorry because they mean it, others say it for ratings." The post vanished after 24 hours, but not before it was screen-recorded and shared across every entertainment account on social media. Fans dissected every word, debating whether it was a direct shot at Kelly or a vague comment blown out of proportion. Kelly's team stayed silent, refusing to engage, but insiders whispered that producers were scrambling behind the scenes to convince Gwen to return for a follow-up episode to smooth things over. knowing full well that a reunion could send ratings through the roof. And just like that, what had started as an awkward on-air moment had turned into one of the most talked-about celebrity clashes of the year. Behind the glossy lights of the studio, the network's top brass convened an emergency meeting. This wasn't just about damage control anymore, this was about opportunity. One executive reportedly said, "If we play this right, we'll own the week in entertainment news." Calls went out to both Gwen's and Kelly's teams, pitching the idea of an exclusive, no-holds-barred sit-down, where the two would hash out their differences on camera. The problem: Gwen wasn't picking up the phone, and her representative allegedly told producers she was not interested in being part of a PR stunt. Meanwhile, Kelly, who had kept her public comments to a minimum, was quietly fuming. Friends close to her claimed she felt blindsided by Gwen's online jab and believed the singer had exaggerated the tension for sympathy. By midweek, whispers started spreading that other celebrity guests were nervous to appear on the show until the drama cooled off, a sign that the incident was spiraling far beyond a single episode's awkward moment. By Thursday morning, the tabloids and entertainment blogs had already turned the Gwen-Kelly spat into the week's cultural lightning rod. Headlines screamed, "Daytime divas at war," and "Friendship over. What really happened backstage?" Former co-stars, fellow musicians, and even past guests of the show began weighing in on social media, with some defending Gwen's decision to walk out as a bold move against a format that can sometimes trap celebrities, while others accused her of being unprofessional and disrespectful to the host. A surprising number of country artists, many of whom had toured with Blake Shelton, appeared to side with Kelly, praising her as a gracious host who doesn't deserve public disrespect. The debate spilled onto morning radio shows, late-night monologues, and even a few political talk segments where commentators jokingly compared the feud to a bipartisan meltdown. By the end of the day, the story wasn't just about Gwen's walkout, it was about loyalty, industry politics, and the power dynamics of daytime TV. Late that afternoon, an unexpected video clip surfaced on a celebrity gossip Instagram account, and it changed everything. The grainy backstage footage, reportedly leaked by a crew member, showed the moments before Gwen's dramatic exit. In it, Kelly could be seen making a sarcastic comment about Gwen's latest single, suggesting it was more of a nostalgia track than anything fresh, and laughing with a producer off camera. Gwen, sitting just a few feet away, visibly froze, her smile tightening before she quietly asked if they were rolling yet. The producer replied that they were, and Kelly, still unaware of the hot mic, made another quip about Blake probably pretending to like it, to avoid trouble at home. The clip ended just as Gwen stood up, looking directly at the camera, and walked toward the stage. Within minutes of the leak, social media swung in Gwen's favor, with hashtags like #JusticeForGwen and #HotMicGate trending worldwide. What had been painted as diva behavior now looked like justified self-respect. By evening, the story had spiraled far beyond a simple on-air spat. Multiple entertainment outlets reported that NBC executives had called an emergency meeting to address what was now being dubbed the most viral daytime TV meltdown of the year. Sources inside the network claimed advertisers were furious, threatening to pull sponsorships if the show's reputation continued to nosedive. Behind closed doors, producers debated whether to issue a formal apology to Gwen or to double down and frame the incident as a lighthearted misunderstanding. But damage control wasn't so simple. Gwen's management team had already begun quietly canceling her future appearances on NBC platforms, while Blake Shelton, still fiercely protective of his wife, was allegedly reconsidering his own ongoing commitments to the network. Meanwhile, Kelly's camp scrambled to craft a statement that wouldn't sound defensive, yet every draft leaked to the press only made her seem more dismissive. The tension had reached a boiling point, and it was no longer just between two pop stars, it was threatening to shake the entire daytime TV landscape.